For the cabinet door panel, there are three things we can make a decision on: its dimension, its door style, and its surface material. The dimension is usually matched with our cabinets, decided by its width and height. The door style, which is the structure, the shape of the door panels, and for different door materials, there are different available door styles. We can know the available door styles for each materials by looking up to our kitchen sales menu. And by the way, this will update every single year. Every year there will be a lot of new or eliminated door styles and materials. But you don't need to worry about this too much. Later in our upcoming 3D Home software, all the available materials and door styles will be covered. As long as you can find it there, it's good for productions and good for placing order. The third part is the door materials. We have about 11 types of different door finish and a couple of glass door options. And for each type of finish, we have various kinds of colors and grain for choose. In total, there's over 150 different options for door panels. We're going to study the characteristics of each type of door panels, its production process, and their basic applications and limits. Besides all of this, we are also going to learn a couple of matters needing attention when we are designing the door panels of a kitchen. For example, when we are placing orders, we have specific code referring to a special door styles and one typical door material. So that will help the factory knowing that what is the one special door panels we want. It's helpful to know in the common code as well. And for now, let's get started with the composition of a door panel. Most of the door panels are consist of three parts: base material, surface material, we also call this door finish, and the edge band. Let's take a look at the graph here. This one is the typical artificial board. It has a base materials, a front side finish, and a back side finish. When we say front side finish, that means this side is facing outwards and will be visible by just staring at the whole kitchen. Then you get a point here. Sometimes in order to have a cost-saving option for our customers, we use expensive and beautiful finish for the front sides and use a white melamine paper as the backside finish. You don't see any edge band here, but you can still tell from the graph that we only have the front and back side covered by the finish, and nothing for the full edges. We would like to have something to cover this, and for the sake of beauty and also for the sake of production convenience, we use PVC edge bands to cover the edges here. For different colors and grain of door finish, we use different PVC with similar color and grain to match with it. This is also a really practical process, since it's really likely that we need to do some adjustments on sides, sometimes due to an uneven wall, sometimes due to an inaccurate measuring, sometimes due to the shipping damage, and we need to make a new door panel on sides with the additional panels. We cut it into the right dimensions we want and use edge bands to cover the exposing edges. With actual edge bands and a big additional panel, we can avoid lots of after-sales troubles. We recommend always provide some actual parts like this. This can help solving most of the potential issues. So you get an idea of producing a typical door panel here. It's grabbing your base materials, cut your desired shape on it, attach the door finish on it, and cover the full edges with the edge bands. There are three types of base material: MDF, medium density fiber boards, particle boards, and plywood. MDF has the smoothest surface. It is made out of wood fibers and we can cut all kinds of door shapes on it. Usually we do paints on it. Particle board is made out of small wood particles. It has better mechanical properties and is less prone to bending and deformations. But the surface is slightly rough since the particles is not in a regular shape, and we usually attach a preformed finish on it. The last one is the plywood. This is most used as a stronger carcass materials, usually viewed as a better substitute for the standard particle board carcass. In normal designing work, we don't need to worry about the base material, since it is already one-to-one matched with a finish. For example, we only do paints on MDF, since we need a flat and smooth surface to have the oil paints on it, and we only do melamine on the particle board. Same logic for the edge bands. It is already one-to-one matched with a finish as well. So the only two things we really need to choose for is the door style and the door finish. By the way, as I mentioned, most door panels consist of three parts: base material, surface materials, and edge bands. The reason why I said most door panels is because for some typical door materials, it's not the case that we attach a preformed finish to the base material. Instead, in that case, it's possible to cover the four edges. For example, when we do paints, what we call the lacquer finish, we have no edge bands since we can just spray the paints on all the surface of the panels and let them dry together. We are going to talk more about this in the later parts when we discuss each door materials. So this is the composition of the door panels, and let's move on to the common door styles. The most common door style is the flat panel with no special shape. This is a door style that works for all finishes. Here are some other common door styles. Remember, this may not work with all materials. Based on the crafts and features, different materials have different available door styles. You need to check the kitchen sales menu for more details. In the sales menu, in the all finish categories, there will be a list of available colors and a sheet for available door styles. And for each door style, there are notes about it, telling the available dimensions, matters needing attention, and available wood frame glass doors for this finish. The idea is that if the finish is the preformed laminates, we are not able to produce complex door styles. For some half preformed finish like thermoplastic, this type of finish will soften under high temperatures and it can be bent into simple shapes. Therefore, there are a couple of simple door styles available for this type of finish. The last case is the paints. Its production process allows us to engrave all kinds of shape on the base materials before we spraying the paints. And we can use this finish to realize most kinds of door styles. Door panels are classified by its finish materials, like what we just mentioned above. A simple classification of door finish materials can be like this: preform finish, thermoplastic, paints, and glass doors. Preform finish is literally what it means. We have the finish preforms with all kinds of colors, grains, glossiness. We stick this finish to the front and back sides of our big boards, usually particle boards. We cut the board into smaller panels we want and use PVC edge bands to cover the four edges. The edge band is 1 mm thick and its color and grain will be similar to the front finish. Here is a list of preform finish: melamine, laminates, UV lacquer, acrylic, metal foils, and wood veneer. Melamine and laminates are the two most economical options among all door finishes. We will use them in most of our orders. For all of the preform finish here, and it's in edge bands. Thermoplastic contains PVC and PP. These materials will soften when heated and harden when cooled. We use this feature to fix them on the door panels. The finish can cover the edges and they doesn't need an edge band. For paints, we mean we directly do paints on the base materials, dry it, and polish it. Lacquer and solid woods are processed this way. By the way, solid wood is a special option that is more of a natural panels than artificial panels. It has a special production process, including drying, antiseptic treatments, kills all bugs inside, removes sugars and fats, and a couple of other treatments. And that's why we don't list it in the three base materials categories of artificial panel. There are three types of glass doors: wood frame glass door, aluminum frame glass door, and toughened glass door. The craft of glass doors are relatively fixed and simple. So, through a simple comparison, it's easy to figure out that the production process of a preform finish is the most simple and fast one. This leads to a lower cost and lower price. However, on the contrary, flat panel is nearly the only optional door style for this type of finish. We can change the shape of a preform finish and therefore can achieve various door styles with this type of finish. The advantage of this type of finish is that it has a relatively lower price, it has various colors, grains, glossiness to match with all kinds of modern style design. The shortcoming of this finish is that it doesn't have a lot of available door styles and it always needs an edge band. As for thermoplastic, since it will soften when heated, door styles with molded shape is available. But still, some intricate pattern and sharp corner is not on the option list. The price of this type of finish is slightly higher, but not too much. The outstanding feature of thermoplastic is its special soft and warm textures and no edge band required. Together with the decoration parts, this finish is widely used in transitional style kitchen. Painted door is most flexible on door styles. We can carve all kinds of shape on the base material and paint the color we want. However, since it has the most production process and longest production durations, it has the highest cost and also become the most expensive finish. More than this, for oil paints, pure color is almost the only option we have. But the flaws can outweigh its advantage. Its unique glossiness and touch feeling still make it the best options for high-end design. It can match well with all kitchen styles. Now let's go through the common finish one by one again. Take a look at the mind map here. For preform finish, we have melamines, laminates. This is also called the HPRs, stands for high pressure laminates. We have UV lacquer, acrylic, and metal foil, and wood veneer. For thermoplastic, we have PVC and PP. For painted door, we have lacquer and solid woods. For glass door, we have wood frame glass door, aluminum frame glass door, and toughened glass door. So above is the classifications and a brief introduction for kitchen cabinet doors. In the following parts, let's discuss each kind of this finish one by one. So melamines and laminates are the most economical choices for door panels. They are crafted in similar ways, using preformed finishes to cover the front and back sides of the base materials, and then use PVC edge bands to cover the full edges. The melamine preform finish is a piece of paper treated with melamine resin to make it stronger and able to resist heat, water, oil, and other common residues in the kitchens. Depending on the different types of ink we have, we get a variety of different melamine finish. Some common types of finishes is pure color, wood grain, stone grains, fabric grains, and some other special grain. We can take a look at the sample here. The thickness of the melamine paper is around 0.1 mm, so it's nothing more than a paper. The base material is an 18 mm thick particle board, so the overall thickness is of the melamine panels is still around 18 mm. Laminates can be understood as a melamine plus. Instead of using a piece of paper, now we have several pieces of paper, including a top one with ink, several layers of craft papers as the body parts, and titanium powder papers to make it stronger, and so on. Through a high pressure and high temperature process, a solid laminate is formed. The thickness of this layer is usually about 0.6 mm, depends on layers of craft paper used. Together with the 18 thick particle board, the overall thickness of a laminate door is about 19 mm, so it's a little bit thicker than a standard melamine door. Compared to melamine, the laminate door is more durable with better heat and scratch resistance. Moreover, the hard laminates also carries a deeper and more realistic texture. Melamine panel is all two-sided. Its back side has the same finish as the front side. Laminate doors, on the contrary, have one-sided and two-sided options. For the one-sided options, instead of using the same laminates to cover front and back side of the panels, it has a thinner made white laminates to cover the back side of it. We can take a look at a sample here. As a matter of course, double-side laminate is more expensive than single-side laminates, and single-side laminates is more expensive than melamine. The applications of melamines and laminates is that these are the two most economical options for kitchen cabinet doors. They are widely used in rental apartments, student dorms, and middle to lower end projects. Every single year, following the latest trends, there are new finish posted. They offer all kinds of new and beautiful colors and grains, and they are mostly favored by young customers. Some common door styles of melamines and laminate doors are flat panels. This works for both melamines and laminates. Flat panels usually match with visible handles, or KO4 and KO5 concealed handles. KO4 is an aluminum board fixed on the carcass, and is a concealed handle using on base cabinets. And KO5, on the contrary, is the handle using for wall cabinets. We also have 45-degree cut edges as handle. So this is another door style. We also have the shaker door style. So these three are the typical door styles we have. A quick note here. The 45-degree cut edges asks for edge bands in special specifications, and therefore is only available for several melamine finish. The shaker door style has a 9 mm thick MDF based core, and thus is only available for 2 melamine finishes. Another application is the thick decoration panels. As for decoration panels, sometimes we use a thick wood panel as countertop or hanging shelves. And besides the standard 18 thick, we provide 38 thick and 50 thick wood panels. For these two extra thick panels, they ask for special edge bands as well, so it's also only available for several melamines and laminate finish. So as you can see, these are the two basic options for kitchen cabinet doors. They are rich in colors and textures, but they are mostly in the flat panel style. So these are the common knowledge and applications of melamine and laminate finish. For now, we can enjoy several melamines and laminate door kitchen samples. Let's take a look together. We are going to put the other kinds of preform finish together since they have no critical differences. They are made out of different materials and each of them has its own unique properties. With all these finishes together, we have a healthy diversity of door panels. Different finishes can be used to realize several different kinds of kitchen styles to meet the market demands and to build a highly personalized kitchen for our customers. There are 4 options in our sets. We have UV lacquer, acrylic, metal foils, and high-tech wood veneer. Let's begin with the UV lacquer. UV lacquer is an upgraded version of melamines in another direction. It is a combination of laminates and paints. Usually, we have painted doors in pure color and high glossiness, and we have melamine doors with various colors and grain with little glossiness. UV lacquer combines them and gets special effects. I would like to call it high gloss melamines. The UV lacquer itself is a special transparent lacquer that can be cured really fast under ultraviolets. Unlike the PU paints used in traditional lacquers that takes days and weeks to produce, this can be produced really fast. Different from melamines, since we need to do paints on it, we also need a smooth surface and therefore the base material for UV lacquer is MDF. Also with this paint on it, the overall thickness of the door panels will rise to 19. Its price is a little bit higher than double-sided laminates, but it's much cheaper than lacquer products. All the UV paint doors are single-sided and they will only have colorful high-gloss melamines on the front sides, and for the back side, we use matte white melamine finish. The second option is our acrylic door panels. The finish is a piece of acrylic in different colors. Acrylic has another nickname called organic glass, which provides us a really nice description of its properties. A great reflection of lights, and a special glossiness. A special property of acrylic is that even though it's a preform finish and we need edge bands to cover the edges, it can melt with its special edge bands and gain a seamless edge banding effect. That is saying, it looks like there's no edge band on it. Acrylic is also single-faced. The front side finish is high-gloss acrylic and the back side is made white melamine paper. And the third one is metal foil. Its finish contains a certain amount of metals and thus has a unique metallic luster. This material is commonly used together with acrylic and form a nice, gorgeous and shining kitchens. The last one is the high-tech wood veneers. We only have 2 optional finish for this type. Instead of going for natural grain like wood grain, stone grains, this one has a special artificial high-tech and modern filling grains covered by high-gloss transparent paints. Okay, so these are the 4 actual preform finish, and let's take a look at a couple of our showroom cases that may give you some ideas about practical solutions. Thermoplastics, as we mentioned above, including PVC and PP. The sense and touch feeling of PVC is relatively gentle, soft, and warm. It's suitable for transitional style kitchen with simple moldings and some contemporary style kitchen with unique design. In the production process of PVC, the PVC foil will be heated and softened. After that, it will attach to the front surface and also cover the 4 edges through blister absorbing. For the back side, it will be covered by a matte white melamine as well. We can make some simple molding on the base materials without causing many extra difficulties for productions. With these properties, we have a couple of simple door styles available for choose. PVC is also used to make several kinds of crown molding, like cornice and decorative columns. PP has a deeper and harder textures that is often viewed as a good substitute for solid wood. The production process of PP differently covers 4 edges of a panels like a roller, including the front and back sides, and 2 edges, leaving 2 other opposite edges uncovered. For all PP doors, they will be in frame structures, and for each side of the frames, it will join in a 45-degree with the other sides and get its uncovered sides joined together. So PP doesn't need an edge band as well. Again, with the similar textures, touch feelings, and even the similar structures, PP is always viewed as a good imitation for solid wood doors, and is a suitable choice for natural style kitchens. For now, let's take a look at a few sets of PVC and PP door kitchens. Now we move to paints. In these categories, we have lacquer and solid woods. They both have a relatively expensive price. For lacquer, it's because of a high processing cost due to a long processing times, a relatively low yield rates, and the many more complex processes. For solid wood, part of the reason is due to the high raw material cost. These two options are mostly used in high-end kitchens, especially for condos, villas, and single houses. For lacquer, we have single and double-sided, and for the finish, based on different level of glossiness, we have matte lacquer, high gloss lacquer, and flash lacquer. These 3 options. For this year, we also have a new option named powder lacquer. This is our 4th option. To make this easy to understand, we can simplify their relations to this. So a flash lacquer is nothing more than a high gloss lacquer with extra fresh powders on it. And a high gloss lacquer is nothing more than a matte lacquer with extra high gloss paint on it. And every additional process brings an extra cost. Therefore, the price of flash lacquer is higher than high gloss lacquers, and the price of high gloss lacquer is higher than the matte lacquer. The same logic, a two-sided lacquer is more expensive than a one-sided lacquer. The price reflects the cost, but it doesn't necessarily reflect the degree of beauty. Different glossiness brings different feelings. It's not the case that the more expensive one, the better ones. Personally speaking, I really like the white matte lacquer. Besides our standard lacquer products, we also provide some special high-end option. That is the Bentley car lacquer. This lacquer is exactly the same lacquer used on Bentley cars, so you know its quality. There's no edge bands for lacquer finish. If it's one-sided, the lacquer will be sprayed to front sides and the 4 edges, and the back side will be covered by a white melamine finish. For two-sided lacquer, all the 6 surfaces of the panels will be coated with lacquer. All of our available door styles are available for lacquer finish. And if you want to make a special style that you can't find a similar one on our sales menu, it can probably be done with the lacquer finish. In this case, you can talk to our headquarter designers for more information. For solid wood products, since it's more of a natural panels, there are a couple limits comes together with the raw materials. For example, a door styles for solid wood is usually one-to-one match with a specific type of solid woods. Because even if you use the same paints on different solid woods, you get different final colors. So to ensure the credibility of the pictures, most of the solid woods door style is one-to-one match with the solid woods, sometimes 1-to-2. Also same with the PP materials, solid woods are in the frame structures, and sometimes when the overall size is too small, and for some special door styles, the core of the door panels will be MDF coated with wood veneers. So that's the basic knowledge for the paints. And now let's take a look at a couple of lacquer sample kitchens and solid wood sample kitchens. There are 3 types of glass doors: toughened glass, wood frame glass door, and aluminum frame glass door. Toughened glass door is a unique product. I have a whole piece of toughened glass fixed on the aluminum frame. If it's a non-transparent glass, all you can see is the glass itself. If it's a half-transparent glass, you can actually see the shadow of the aluminum frame behind the glass. For more details and information, you can check the kitchen sales menu. We will mainly focus on the 2 other types: wood frame glass door and aluminum frame glass door. These are widely used in wall cabinets as a special decorations. For wood frame glass door, the craft process is to cut holes on all kinds of finish and put the glass in. And the two typical glass door matching with flat panels are YMB001 and YMB006. The first one, YMB001, is matching with paints and thermoplastic finish without edge sealing. The surface material will cover the four edges of the hole. On the contrary, YMB006 stands for finish with edge bandings, and the factory will also use the edge bands to seal the four edges of the glass hole. For aluminum frame glass door, we need to pay attention to its size limitations. The handles available usually we use concealed handles to match with aluminum frame glass doors, but for some frames, they are actually an embedded handle. Okay, so now let's go over the working procedure of choosing glass doors. For wood frame glass doors, you always start with your primary finish, for example a melamine finish or a lacquer finish, and then you find the one particular glass door style you want and see if it's available. And the last step is to choose the type of glass. For aluminum glass door, there are only two steps: find out the aluminum frame you want and choose for glass. For now, for wood frame glass doors, if you want to make a special glass door that's neither YMB001 nor YMB006, you will need to check the door style sheets in our kitchen sales menu and see if it's available. Later in the 3D Home software, it will integrate all of our limitations, and all you need to do is to check if it's available in the software. So above is everything about our standard door materials, including preform finish, thermoplastic. Okay, so the first part is the available dimensions of a door panel. The dimension of a big board is 1220 by 2440. In consider of avoiding possible deformations, loss in panel cuttings, and edge sealing problem, we set the following limitations, and take a look at the sheet here. In short, the dimension for the hinge door is that its width must less or equal to 650 mm, and its height must less or equal to 2340 mm. For the drawer panels, its height cannot be larger than 600 mm, and its width cannot exceed 1200 mm. Okay, so the next one is the standard grain directions. Here we only talk about the common wood grains for melamines or laminate doors. For other doors, either it's a pure color or grain without directions, or grain with its own loose. You can always check the grain direction sheets in the appendix parts of our kitchen sales menu. Normally for hinge doors, the grain direction is vertical grains. Same for the fake doors and fillers. And for drawer panels, door material kickboard, top panels, and light cornice, their grain directions will be horizontal grain. If there's a special need for grain unity, you can adjust the grain of drawer panels and make vertical grains as well. The third part is the edge sealing. This is particular for thick decoration panel. Later in the software, it will automatically tell you what are the available materials. But for now, you can also find it by checking the kitchen sales menu. For all lacquer finish, we don't need to worry about the edge sealings. We can directly place order for 38 or 50 thick panel. But for melamine or laminate finish, we need to check and see if there are special edge bands available. For 38 thick decoration panel, it asks for a 42 width edge bands. As long as you can find a 1.2 by 42 mm edge bands, that means there's one available finish matched with it. For 50 thick decoration panels, the matching edge sealing size will be 1.2 by 55 mm. And here is a sheet of available decoration panel material. As time goes by, there may be new or eliminated materials, so this is only for reference. The last part is the code readings. It's quite simple and important to understand these parts. This can help you understand the kitchen sales menus really quick. We want to first get idea for door style codes and door finish code. The logic is quite simple. The letter stands for type, number stands for particular option. I'm going to show you a couple of examples here. For example, YMA001, it stands for a flat melamine panel. The YMA stands for melamine door style. The number 001 stands for the first door style of Melamine, which is a flat panels. So in combinations, the YMA001 stands for a flat panel door style of Melamine. Another example is the PWMA0060. This is a melamine finish code. The PWMA stands for melamine door material. The number 0060 stands for number 60 melamine material. So to extend this, YMK stands for lacquer door style. YMF stands for laminate door style. PWMK stands for lacquer finish. PWMF stands for laminate finish. So in conclusions, the YM stands for door codes, and the following letters stands for which specific type of materials that's matching with this door code. For example, YMA, the A here stands for melamines. This is same for the melamine door materials. So you know that PWMA stands for melamine material code. Okay, so PWM here means this is a material code, and A or F or K tells you that which particular type of materials you're going to look for, you're going to have. So, for example, PWMK, the K here stands for lacquer, so YMK will stand for lacquer door style, and PWMK stands for lacquer finish. F stands for laminates, then YMF stands for laminate door style, and PWMF stands for laminate finish. Okay, so these are the common methods needing attention when we are designing kitchen door panels. And now we have finished the studying of kitchen door panels. Thick panes and glass doors. In the following parts, we're going to learn a couple of methods needing attention when we're designing door panels. This includes the available dimensions of door panel, standard grain direction of door panels, edge sealings, and code reading.